The all-new Kia K4 lineup is headlined by the GT Line Turbo model, but the rest of the range offers a different kind of appeal. 4 out of the 5 K4 variants are powered by a non-turbo engine, making up the majority of the lineup. Instead of the GT Line Turbo's 190 horsepower, turbocharged 1.6-liter 4-cylinder engine paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission, which we tested earlier this year. The non-turbo models feature a more modest 147 horsepower, 2.0-liter I-4 engine coupled with a continuously variable automatic transmission, CVT. Having been impressed by the GT Line Turbo during the 2025 Car of the Year competition, where it earned a finalist spot alongside the highly refined, newly updated Honda Civic, we were eager to see how the less powerful K4 models measure up. No turbo? No big deal mostly. The new K4 sedan stands out with its striking, sleek design, presenting a long, low profile that differentiates it from the more traditional styling of competitors like the Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, and Volkswagen Jetta, not to mention the Kia Forte, which it replaces. Even the top-tier, most powerful GT Line Turbo version, priced at $31,345, remains affordable while delivering an impressive array of features. In a head-to-head comparison, it held its own against the quicker, more polished Honda Civic Hybrid. Opting for the non-turbo versions lowers the starting price to a very accessible $23,145, and the trade-off isn't as significant as you might expect. However, we haven't yet had the opportunity to fully test most of these lower-price variants. For this review, Kia provided a fully loaded non-turbo GT Line model priced at $28,345, including a $2,000 premium package, alongside the GT Line Turbo we previously evaluated. While this version includes the 2.0-liter engine that powers the lower trims, LX, LXS, and EX, its GT Line-specific features prevent it from being a perfect representation of the base models. Much like its turbocharged counterpart, the non-turbo GT Line benefits from a sport-tuned suspension with a multi-link independent rear setup, as opposed to the simpler twist-beam axle on non-GT Line trims. 18-inch wheels fitted with acoustic foam-filled tires to reduce road noise and a quicker steering ratio. When fully equipped, it also features acoustic windshield glass and nearly all the amenities of the GT Line Turbo. Visually, the two GT Line models are nearly indistinguishable, with the non-turbo version featuring silver accents on its wheels, whereas the turbo opts for fully black rims. Our K4 review remains incomplete for now, as this evaluation focuses solely on the 2025 K4 GT Line 2.0-liter model. The good news for buyers considering a non-turbo K4 is that this version's powertrain, shared across most of the lineup, performs admirably, and its CVT delivers a surprisingly smooth experience. The GT Line adds a notable upgrade over lower trims: steering wheel paddle shifters that allow manual control of the CVT's simulated gear ratios. These shifts are unexpectedly quick and enjoyable. In automatic mode, the CVT avoids the typical downsides of older designs. It resists revving the small engine excessively, even during moderate acceleration, and engages smoothly when pulling away from a stop. Any preconceived notions of CVTs being sluggish or mismatched to road speeds are firmly dispelled here. However, pressing the accelerator flat to the floor reveals some drawbacks. The engine noise rises enough to pierce the GT Line's enhanced windshield glass, and its tone lacks the refinement of the 2.0-liter engine found in base Honda Civics. Not only does it sound coarser, but it also produces less power. This comparison is worth noting since the latest Civics, while also noisy for their class, are notably slow without the optional hybrid powertrain. In trims without the GT Line's extra acoustic insulation, such as the K4 LX, LXS, or EX, more engine noise is likely to intrude into the cabin, diminishing the GT Line's clear advantage in cabin refinement over entry-level Civics. Formal test numbers for the 2.0-liter K4 aren't available yet, but based on our seat-of-the-pants assessment, it feels about as sluggish as the 2.0-liter Civics. Even the GT Line Turbo, with its 190 horsepower, isn't especially quick, taking 7.1 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. With 43 fewer horsepower, the non-turbo GT Line will likely hit 60 miles per hour in the mid-8-second range. slightly quicker than a Civic 2.0 liter, which clocks in at a leisurely 9.6 seconds. That said, accelerating uphill or overtaking at highway speeds is noticeably strained. Without a turbocharger, the K4, GT line or otherwise, is simply not built for speed. Same GT line handling, refinement. Ignore the engine and horsepower differences between the two K4 GT lines, and the two drive, steer, brake, and ride nearly identically. The turboless GT line steering is a hair more pleasant, too, with a lighter action requiring less muscle to turn than the turbo's wheel. Otherwise, the brake pedal is just as firm and satisfying to press here, and the less powerful K4 darts into corners with the same stable feeling. You can amp up the responses slightly by pressing the drive mode button on the steering wheel and switching from normal to sport mode, which weights up the steering and instructs the transmission to hold lower ratios. Regardless, the Kia has a big car feel, which makes sense, given it's physically larger than anything else in the compact sedan class. It also means that the tuning is sporty without nearing flinty. Ride quality seems to have been prioritized as much as ultimate handling. A good trade-off, we think, for a car like this. Bumps are soaked up without drama, and we're inclined to repeat Kia's crack that the K4 drives more like a mid-size car than a compact. Great package, great value. The K4 size is put to great use beyond its arresting looks. Backseat passengers enjoy a class-leading 38 inches of legroom, and headroom is quite good too. Kia also one-ups Honda by fitting every K4 with dual rear seat USB-C ports. No Civic has even one back there, as well as air vents on higher trims, again, something no Civic offers. The trunk can swallow a solid 14.6 cubic feet of goods via a wide, rectilinear opening. Are these necessary features if, say, you're planning to use your K4 for Uber or Lyft duty? Perhaps not, but you want 5 stars, don't you? Up front, the K4 is seriously impressive, outdoing the entire compact class with a standard 12.3-inch touchscreen that shares a gorgeous curved glass enclosure with a digital gauge pod. Lesser K4S gets slightly different gauge pod layouts, but they're all digital. On the GT line, the all-in setup is stunning, matching what you'll find in the larger Kia K5 and other Hyundai Kia products. It's an unexpected touch for something at this price point, and it mostly works well. Our only complaint carries over from the GT line Turbo. The little section of display space allocated to the HVAC buttons and the current set cabin temperature readouts shyly hangs out behind the steering wheel's rim, invisible to the driver. To fire up the defroster or change fan settings, you'll need to lean to your right to see them. Changing temperatures is easier. Physical up-down rocker switches lower on the dash are highly visible, and when manipulated, your temperature changes register via pop-ups on the touchscreen. That screen includes wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on every K4 too.